Hello, what's up everyone? Moses here, and in this video we're gonna go through how I leveled up basically two characters, but it's the same. It's a casual channeling Scion, and there are two ways I went about it past couple of days. First one was the Incinerate Volatile Dead variant, and then the Winter Orb Ice Spear. I have extensive guides on how to gear up mid-league when you already have some currency, how these builds work. You can check them out. Just scroll a little bit back on my YouTube channel. Both of the build guides are there for Winter Orb Ice Spear or Incinerate Volatile Dead Scion. Very similar builds. The idea is you channel your Incinerate, and with cast while channeling Gem, you're going to be also firing up the Volatile Dead, or channeling Winter Orb and shooting, casting Ice Spear while you're doing that. So, yeah, the access to cast while channeling is only available from level 38 when you kill Malachi, just before you reach Act 5. Okay, so until then, how did I level up? Well, you pick up a Scion. As a Scion, you gain access to Onslaught. And early on, you just link Onslaught with a Spark. This will allow you to kill pretty much everything early on, get an Explosive Trap, and as soon as you break some eggs, you're getting access to Frost Bomb. So Frost Bomb, Spark with Onslaught, Explosive Trap, all are great early game up until level 12. This is how I went about it. I also had an Orb of Storms because it's basically almost instant cast, and it's kind of nice to just have another damage over time working in the background while you're casting your main spells for more damage. Yeah. You're going to get your Arcane Surge, and your 3-link is going to be Spark, Arcane Surge, and Onslaught. Try to get a blue-blue wand, blue-blue-green wand, and make it a +1. +1 meaning you're getting Topaz Ring, let's just pretend it's linked. Topaz Ring, a magic wand, you turn it into magic by using a transmute, and an alteration orb. So the way it works is you make your wand magic, and you vendor with topaz and an alteration, and then it will keep the links, right? The colors, the links, it will keep it, but it will turn into a +1 to level socketed lightning gems. Right, pretend it's linked, there it is, and then inside here you're going to be putting your Spark, your Onslaught, and your Arcane Surge. As soon as you can, you put an added lightning, and you move your Arcane Surge to either your Explosive Trap or your Frost Bomb or your Orb of Storms. Depends on the links that you find and whatever is available to you. But you do want the added lightning, and you're going to get added lightning at level 8. So you'll get the benefit of added lightning +1, and later this will be your Stormbrand, but for now it's going to be your Spark. So Spark, added lightning, Onslaught, and then as soon as you get to level 12, you're going to have access to both your Stormbrand and your Blade Vortex, right? So Blade Vortex is really good for dealing with Merveil, with later bosses in Act 2 and Act 3, until you get your Lightning Spire. Lightning Spire is at level 28, but until then you basically use your Stormbrand with Onslaught and added lightning in your +1 wand that you got. If you have a spare augment, try and use that augment, because maybe you get something like cast speed, and then that's awesome for +1 with cast speed and some spell damage. It's an excellent level starting wand. But yeah, so Stormbrand, Onslaught, and added lightning from your level, whenever it's available for you, level 12, and then on a different setup, may it be gloves, helm, another wand, whatever you have the links for, you use Blade Vortex with added lightning, with added cold, whatever you manage to get depends on the links. It's on its own, it's very strong. Blade Vortex On its own, it's very, very strong. And it will allow you to obliterate all these. You know, you channel it, and then you just stand in the melee range with the boss, and you know, it destroys. So this is going to be, you know, alongside with Explosive Trap, with Blade Vortex, with, you know, your other spells that you have the links for. This is going to be your single target setup until you get your Lightning Spire. Lightning Spire, basically, the way that it works is, again, it's a very, very powerful single target spell, and you use it with whatever links you manage to find. Control Destruction in this case, Elemental Focus, added cold damage because I had one, but alternatively you could get a Trap and Mine damage and put it over here. It's basically the same DPS, doesn't really matter, as a 4-link from, you know, Act 3 and on after Gravicius. Now, if you're going, before we go to Act 2 and 3, if you're going to run Winter Orb with Ice Spear, bear in mind that you're getting your Ice Spear at Act 1. This is your Ice Spear right here. So just before, I believe it's a level 8 gem that you're getting, I'm not entirely sure, but whether it's 8 or 12, just keep an eye on that, and whenever you have a spare transmute, just keep one and level it up in your off weapon. Just leave it there, and when you're ready to transform into your Castle Channeling setup, you'll be able to use it. It is important because when you buy it from the vendor, it's not going to be the same level as when you, you know, when you level it up from, you know, from the moment you were able to buy it. When you're able to buy it, it's going to be a certain level, and then it's going to continue leveling up, but in a slower pace compared to you. So it's important that you get one as early as you can, because levels on gems makes a huge difference for spellcasters in terms of damage. You're going to be able to make much more damage the more the gem levels up. So if you're going for the Ice Spear Winter Orb combo, make sure as soon as you got an extra spare transmute to get a couple of these and shove them in your off weapons, so that they can level up. Winter Orb, however, is a level 28 gem. You're only going to be able to pick up from Act 3 after you kill Gravicius. So again, the Castle Channeling setup only from Act 4 and on, level 38 Castle Channeling, but Winter Orb, pick it up earlier, shove it into off weapons, level it up in the background while you're using your other spells to level up. Same thing works with Volatile Dead Incinerate, only Volatile Dead Incinerate both Scion gets from Act 1. You're able to purchase them. I'm not entirely sure if they're quest rewards. If there are, just pick one of them, but I'm pretty sure you know, you just get them from the vendor. So a couple of transmutes here, Incinerate, Volatile Dead, also something to keep in mind. So it really depends on what you're going for. Another thing to keep in mind, if you are Volatile Dead Incinerate, you also need to get a spell totem in addition, because Desecrate spell totem is the way that we generate corpses for Volatile Dead as a single target, right? For Volatile Dead, you'll need to get that thing going, otherwise you won't have corpses to generate. So it will generate the corpses for you. Right now it's just a Act 1 area, you know, so the Desecrate itself, the chaos damage will destroy, but you will need these corpses in order to get these flaming balls, right? They auto-target stuff from off screen, right? So until you have the corpses, you'll need something to generate them, right? And from situations, in situations where you're fighting bosses, you'll need the Desecrate. So something to keep in mind. In Act 1, you're getting all these gems that we just went through. Alright, so let's now go back. We are now level 12. We picked up our Stormbrand, we killed Marvel, we picked up our Blade Vortex, we killed Marvel. In Act 2, when we do a couple quests on the right side, the way I go about it is you go to Crossroads, and then Chamber of Sins Fidelitas, and then you're able to kill, and then you're getting your Heralds, and you're getting your Stormbrand, your Brand Recall. Alright, so Brand Recall is important. This is something you get in Act 2. Also in Act 2, you're getting, you know, your heralds, so keep that in mind. All your heralds, you can level them up. What I did is I was using Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder, and I just had a 50% mana. And then you always have the opportunity to go into Mind Over Matter if you want to. If you're playing hardcore, maybe you want to get into Mind Over Matter to be able to mitigate. It gives you about 1k mana with, you know, all the Scion starting mana nodes and all the intelligence that we're getting. It gets about 1k mana, 1.3k life, and level 40. It's quite a substantial, beefy setup if you're going for Mind Over Matter. I chose not to go because I play softcore and I don't really care, so I went for damage instead, for life nodes. So we're getting, you know, the elemental overload. This is how our tree looks like at level 40. You pick up, you know, the spell damage and cast speed and some movement speed, and then you go to the left side, rushing elemental overload basically, because with Stormbrand you're constantly going to be critting and proccing elemental overload for 40% more elemental damage. Got dexterity node here because I needed one, and then picked up some life and stopped here at Heart and Soul, went up, picked up Crew Preparation, and went all the way to Light Divinity Holy Dominion, stopped for Quick Recovery, and picked up Devotion. With the 6% I decided to go and pick it up, and from this point on we will go to Intelligence here, probably this life cluster, and then go down all the elemental, and then Shadow, and this is how our tree is going to look like, something like that, and then Nullification, and then Blood Drinker, and then, you know, Acrobatics, and then the life, and then Phase Acro, and then we'll see, because at that point I didn't reach that far, but there are several ways you could go about. Basically at this point you have all the life nodes on the tree, and we're very late, you know, it's about character level 80 or so. You know, you can pick up, depends on what build you're going, whether it's the fire or the cold one. You know, you could take Frostwalker, you could take Firewalker, and there are other varieties of build, but just right now I want to talk about the leveling process. So yeah, we reach Act 2, we get our brand recall. What else do you do in Act 2? Get your Desecrate, level it up in the background. Wait, no, that's Act 3, excuse me. Over here you get your Heralds, you get a faster casting. Try and get Flame Dash, faster casting, Arcane Surge. I find it to be the most comfortable, but you could attach it to any other spell like your Brand Recall. You know, Brand Recall and Arcane Surge will proc. Keep Arcane Surge in low level so it will proc instantly, so you won't have to spend several times, like especially if it's Brand Recall, it's kind of a long cooldown. So you want to keep your Arcane Surge level 1 or 2 just to have that bonus up, and you don't really have to think about it. Yeah, that is basically it. When it comes to leveling up a character like that, the Heralds, I didn't use Herald of Ash, but I did level it up because I didn't know whether I want to go with Incinerate Volatile Dead or with Ice Spear Winter Orb. The 4 links, I'm not entirely sure if I mentioned, but yeah, let's go over this again. The 4 links are going to be, if you're going for the cold build, it's going to be Ice Spear, Winter Orb, GMP, and Castwall Channeling. GMP is Greater Multiple Projectiles, and you know, Volatile Dead, Incinerate, Control Destruction with Castwall Channeling. This is basically it. We can go and kill some stuff with both of these builds. Right now, we can use Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder. Again, you don't have to reserve for 2 heralds, but you could. You can just reserve for 1 and then go Mind Over Matter. It's very, very beefy and tanky, and you're probably not gonna die. Oh wait, no, now I'm Ice Spear, so I don't need any corpses. Okay, so we got some Syndicate action going. Gotta love it. Gotta love the Syndicate. Oh my god, they almost got me here. Well, over here might as well. But yeah, you see the
a big tough man like you should be fine in solitary.
what's it called, the lightning spire trap is actually doing a lot of work with dealing with single target. Just drop it on the ground as you're, as everything else is happening, and it really does some massive work. We can actually also kill what's his name with it, Innocence. I guess we can play this until the Innocence fight, and Innocence we can do with the Incinerated Volatile Dead, just for you to see. But yeah, I mean, Winter Orb, obviously a pretty good skill. We can drop an Orb of Storm here, maybe we proc. I have an Orb of Storm linked with Onslaught, so maybe we proc it for an 8-second or 7-second Onslaught cooldown. Onslaught, yeah, there it is, proc. So that's pretty nice. Sometimes that you get it. And we're going the wrong way. Classic old me.
Can I not have but a moment's respite?
So you can drop the Orb of Storm, and maybe it will proc the Onslaught, because yeah, when it kills, small chance of getting it. It actually procs quite consistently past couple of seconds. This is the Onslaught buff, and we leveled up. We're going. We do have an Onslaught flask, so, and you see the this is our Elemental Overload whenever we're critting. So this is a non-crit build, right? We don't get any crit multi, so we're not investing in early on in crit, because that's kind of a high investment, and we need links for that, right? We definitely need like an increased critical strike gem and stuff like that, but we are still critting. We're just not getting any crit multi, but instead we're getting a 40% more multiplier. So when it's up, we're getting a massive damage increase to our overall damage. So yeah, this is something to keep in mind. Now I guess I could do the Volatile Dead variant, just so you to kind of like see how that works. Although I do have extensive build guides for those spells. So you get the totem up, and oh, Incinerate should be here. Lol. So you get the totem up, and basically Volatile Dead does work. Of course, I did kind of derp there, but like you can see, the VD is doing some massive damage, but it's not as comfortable, because you do have to put in a totem in like boss type situations, because you're not gonna have enough corpses all the time. It's nice to keep the Orb of Storm up. Maybe one of the minions will die to it. We can proc the that's the so the lightning trap, lightning spire trap doing work there. You can proc it a little bit earlier. You see it does work. While the totem is working, to create more corpses. It's a pretty breezy fight overall. And yeah, VD is just really strong. I would actually recommend VD versus the Ice Spear Winter Orb combo. The disadvantage, of course, when you're, if you're going for the fire build, you're probably not gonna shatter too many enemies, and the build's gonna feel a bit maybe less satisfying. But no, I needed to move from that and I was stuck. Nice and tanky, and I don't even have Mind Over Matter. Okay, so this needed to happen like a couple of seconds ago. But you get the idea, right? You get the idea. Oh, and I also should have ran Herald of Ash, because fire. But I mean, you get the point. VD is very strong, and it obliterates stuff. But but again, the totem is a drawback, and the fact that you're not like shattering stuff, which can feel a little not satisfying. Now we can just probably tank that and survive through and kill that guy. So this is the build I would recommend if you're interested in any kind of Scion action for you to go with. It's very, very strong. I actually died 2 times with this character. I don't even remember when was the first time. Yeah, it's very, very strong. In terms of Ascendancy, as a Scion, I probably would keep all the Ascendancies until I could do Merciless, and only at Merciless I would probably do all the Ascendancies, because until then it's like really it's up to you. But I don't think it's like that important or that benefiting for you. And if you're focusing on like just speed, just get your character to proper levels of you know, damage and speed and flasks and your setup ready, and only then I would recommend to pursue Labyrinth. But yeah, this is the build. These are, the Volatile Deads are very, very strong and very fun to level up with, and I'm sure it can carry you quite well in oh my god, the intervention mission. Oh my god, stop. Seems good. Anyways, we got a do we have an alchemy? I don't know, there's a 4-link. 4-link boots, always tempting, although I think I have an alchemy. Oh yeah, I got a few. Rip. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. This is the build. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. When it comes to Ascendancies, I would probably go Witch, Path of the Witch, so I can unspec all of this inefficiency, and grab, you know, probably the cast speed nodes in here, and then spec into all these resistances and constitution, something like that, instead of having all of this stuff that we don't really need. So Path of the Witch, and then you know, Elementalist, and then maybe Raider, probably Raider, maybe Slayer for the Overleech to be a bit more tanky. It really is up to you. It's a Scion, it's your world. Do whatever you want with it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.